Welcome back to What Are Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Honi 3. It's a tier 5 Japanese tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka and it's under the command of Angelina75 of OLIMP. And this is kind of different to the normal contest we see between Angelina and talon1958 because they decided to play some ordinary tanks instead of Arty. Off they go. Well, that is the Type 3 Honi 3. And back in 2017, when we were doing a list of all the Arty that we would like added to the game, we actually included Japanese tanks or vehicles that we thought could be counted as artillery. And this was one of the ones that we came across. It was basically a self-propelled gun, or was a gun that could actually support the troops in the field based on the Type 3 hull, and it was originally designed, I believe, quite late on during the war, if I recall. It's got a 75mm main gun capable of 130 alpha, and they ordered 57 of these vehicles to start with. Production began in 1944, but it was hampered by the lack of materials, lack of steel, because Japanese Navy got all the good stuff, and as a consequence, even when they were building it, it was being hampered by the bombing. Now, it does have 150mm of penetration with the standard round, so you can see here Angelina's reversed them. That's the standard round, that's the premium shell with 194. And she's also got a couple of HE rounds which will do 175 alpha and 14mm of pen. Now you'll notice that Angelina is not aiming in the usual way. She's staying in third person, just trying to put the reticule onto the target. Now, as many of you know, you do have the option to use sniper view in a tank, and by doing that you can actually zoom in on the enemy and find about where on the vehicle you want to actually hit them. And if you want to increase that sniper view even better, then you can, using ASLanes, increase the magnification so that it's not so difficult to actually locate the targets. You can also use the third key, the mouse wheel, and the third button right in the center to pop in and out of sniper view, so you can still get your third person view like Angelina's doing at the moment. But it's a very difficult thing to do, to actually aim using third person view. Now Angelina's driving straight down the road. Of course that's not advised, because of course then the enemy might get a chance to see you. But now she's pushed twice over. There could be an enemy tank at H1 or J1 actually for that matter. And if they do have one light tank on their team, an AMX-13 FL11, so he could be up there. In fact, there might be an M10 RBFM, because they've got two of those on the enemy team, and a T67 as well. So she needs to be careful that she doesn't get spotted. And although these KV-1s are moving up, they do have armor to protect them, whereas the Honi 3 doesn't really have a whole lot of armor. I'm afraid it's only 25mm on the front, sides and the rear on the hull, so yes, she needs to be careful she doesn't get hit, because anything that touches her is more likely going to go straight through. Now, I did say there were a number of other vehicles which we did consider could be used as Japanese Arty, because of course Wargaming are very reluctant to bring any new Arty into the game. At one time they did say they were considering Italian Arty and Swedish Arty, as well as the Japanese, but no, nothing came of it at all. And that was actually from the horse's mouth. I actually did hear from Wargaming themselves about what they were looking at the time. And we've got a special event going in. Looks like an aircraft's about to crash into the ground ahead of us. I ought to do a correction actually, because there definitely were 4 engine bombers being considered by the Japanese during the war. So it's not impossible to actually see that. They did considered two different types. A Messerschmitt was one of them, but they never got built. They never got mass produced. They were going to be the America bombers, the bombers that were used to attack New York. It's a long flight from Germany all the way over to New York and back. So these bombers would have been very, very big with extensive range, and I think that was beyond the range that the Germans could really practically deal with. Now this vehicle does have a fairly slow top speed, only 40 kilometers an hour maximum speed. It does have a different reload time for the stock and for the Top Gun. The stock gun's got a 4-second reload, if I remember correctly, 4.22 seconds, but the Top Gun has got a reload of 3.91. Now Angelina's got 3.68, so I think she has got the Top Gun. And that T-67, well, he's exposed himself and he is taking fire. So, whoa! And now the Staghounds come back, and she did get some damage on him. The Arty on our team turns out to be an M44 and an SU-8, sides of the battlefield. And on the enemy team, they've got a Hummel, but they've already lost their second Arty and SU-8. That Staghound has actually decided to go do a very foolish thing. He's actually decided to push straight up the centre of the map. He could go after the SU-8, but that might be fatal. More than likely, he's going to get spotted by one of our tanks behind us, the T-34 or the T-67 for that matter, and they'll probably take him out of the game. Angelina's not firing at him, but that's because there's a ridge line between her and him, and she decided not to actually engage. In fact, Angelina's using the mouse key to put the cursor on the target rather than actually aim using the traditional or the normal method that most people would actually do, is to go to sniper mode. Now, we'll check and make sure that Angelina knows about the sniper mode and the case of possibly increasing your magnification on the aim, because you can do that up to a 30 degrees or 30 times magnification, and that's available through Aslane's mods. Well, a Mitsu 108 has managed to make it into the wreckage of the bomber, and he's sitting there in the midfield at the moment. And I think we managed to get that shot off without being spotted, so we are double bushed. And the Staghound's gone. And they've lost both their Staghounds, and now they've lost their Mitsui 08. There's only 3 enemies left, so now Angelina can push. And in fact, actually, I would say push on the bowl, which she's done. She's gone over to this side so she can disappear into the bowl if she needs to. But they ought to start moving, because virtually all the enemy have now been wiped out. And if she moves forward, she can get some nice shots on the enemy. She shoots at the Govica. Well, she can auto-aim on if she wants to, but at the moment she's selecting her targets by aiming on the cursor. Now getting shots on the M4A1. Oh, she got the kill! Now, I don't believe they've actually, Talon and Angelina have actually had these tanks for very long, but they decided between them that they wanted to go down this line. And in fact, Talon has sent in a replay, another replay featuring the Honey 3, and so has Angelina for that matter. So after this battle, we've got another 2 to review. Well, the Govica is in a dip in the land there, so we can't get shots on him. We need to get closer. But the one good thing is that Angelina hasn't lost any hit points at all. But then some might say, well, you need to be a bit more adventurous and actually go in there and risk the possibility of taking damage in return for actually getting more damage on the enemy by return. And now there's only one enemy left. It's a Wolverine. And our teammates are well ahead of us now, and they're racing to get to that guy. He must be up ahead, because we've been everywhere else in the map. She's following close behind the KV2, and the KV2 is taking damage. Oh my gum! Well, the guy died, but I think Angelina did get some damage on him before the game was over. Here's the end of battle stats, and we can see straight away this was her very first game in the Honey 3, which would explain why Angelina was only using the standard view or third-person view rather than actually going to the sniper view. So we will try to make sure that Angelina has all the instruction necessary to actually make good use of that sniper view in the future. But she managed to get a third-class tanker, and of course this was the first battle that she's played that she's started off with a mastery, a third-class mastery straight off, and you can see it's the first time she's had it because she got the scrolls underneath the 3. She also got a 5-for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of her own vehicle, and she came out of that battle with absolutely no damage whatsoever, which is very good considering this is your first game in a new tank. So her win rate was 1,281, which is good, but nothing really unusual. What's unusual is not suffering any damage. That's very good. Anyway, if we look at team score, we can see Angelina managed to get 560 hit points. The top scorers were the Wolverine, the last person alive on the enemy team, 1,837. Second highest was the SU-8 on our team, 1,701. And the third highest, well, that was the T25AT, who got 1,461. When it came to kills, you can see that the SU-8 managed 4 kills. 3 kills went to the Thunderbolt on our team, and he actually got a steel wall. And so did the M44 got 3 kills as well. And then 2 kills went to the M10 RBFM on our team, the Govka, and the M4A1 on the enemy team. And Angelina just got the 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, she's a little further down the table. The top scorers, the Thunderbolt, the M10, and the SU-8. And Angelina getting 324 a little bit way down the table. She fired only 14 rounds, got 8 direct hits and 5 penetrations, 560 hit points of damage, of which 273 were at more than 300 meters. 5 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and she got 32,472 credits profit on a premium account and 1,215 experience points out of it. And of course, that M4A1 was her first kill in a tank, or at least in this particular tank, to say the least. So this is the first game that Angelina played. Let's have a look at the second replay, which comes from Talon a few days later. The second battle is on the south spawn of Steps, and talon1958 of OLIMP is about to go in. Off we go! I think you can see straight off that this is quite a tall vehicle. That wouldn't have helped on its camo, but remember, most of the Japanese tanks were operating on the islands that they captured in the South Pacific. The vehicle itself, overall, was actually fairly lightweight. It was only 19 tons altogether. And that's important because, of course, these vehicles were being shipped in, and when they did get to the islands, the ship had to either deliver them directly to the beach, or they had to be transported on barges to get them to the land. Well, he gets a nice hit on the KV-1S. He's not using sniper mode at all, even though he knows how to use it. And he gets a kill! So he's taken one of the enemy heavy tanks out. The Alpha is slightly higher than the other 75mm they had at the time. If you recall, the American 75mm, such as the ones that were actually fitted into the M4, were actually about 115 Alpha, whereas these ones were 130. And that could be down to the fact that they are late war guns. Of course, the reason why he is staying away from the enemy as much as he can is because, of course, very thin armor, 25mm all the way around, so he doesn't want the enemy to get sight of him if he can help it. because he would suffer some severe damage if he did. That doesn't mean that he won't be aggressive though, and he won't change position and move. I think he just wants to be careful that he doesn't go out of the battle too soon. And that's a mistake that a lot of players do make actually, is they go into the battle too quickly and they don't last very long, whereas other players actually just go all at it. And yes, and then they course die very quickly and they wonder why they're not there at the end. A lot of Arty players do play TDs, mainly because, again, like the actual Arty itself, you're sitting at the back of the map and looking at it tactically, seeing where you can be the most effective. Got a nice number of tanks going up the gully in the centre of the map at the moment, and we can see that the Griller is actually up at the first ridge line, so he's trying to minimise the distance between him and the nearest enemy. And we can see a Cromwell's come into the gully and he's engaging our Cromwell, but of course he must have taken a round there from the 6-pounder or the 75mm gun, because he got a big chunk out of him straight away. And the enemy RT on this game happens to be a PP, and he's fired at our Cromwell. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, yes, there we go, he's firing again. And the Cromwell's gone. And now we can see the enemy PP who's behind the railway line, but he's in that little dip next to the railway carriages. Again, Talon's not using his sniper mode, but he does know how to use it. Well, they've got the Stug, that's the first one, and that means now there's just the Juno and the T1 Heavy on that side. There they are. So at last he's using sniper mode, looking for that spot. Oh, he saw the outline from the Juno just then. He might have a shot. There it is. Well, that one went in the rear of the turret. Hopefully that might have... could have knocked out the ammo rack, I'm not sure. It's not showing anything. T1 Heavy is now a one-shot, and that's the end of him. You can see the enemy is putting up a defence near their cap on the east side of the map, using those two hills to keep an eye on the cap without exposing themselves to too much fire. The Jagdpanzer here is a bit of a problem. He's gone in between the rocks behind those railway wagons up ahead. Yeah, that's a wreck. Now, because all of our guys have died on the east side of the map, the enemy could actually at this moment be trying to ride all the way back to our cap and put cap pressure on us. Our Gorilla's abandoned the cap area, is actually coming north up the gully. And of course he knows the good sense, like Angelina does, to actually stay near your friendly tanks for protection. So I guess he's looking towards the cap just in case the enemy suddenly appears from that direction. But there's only 3 enemies now remaining. The Juno, the Hellcat and the Stug. And the Stug's just gone down. The Juno is a one-shot. And the Arty claims the Juno. Score 1 for the Gorilla. He was right on the corner when he got him.
Your assistance has been requested.
And there's the Hellcat. Now, we don't know if that guy's got the 90mm or if he's got one of the others. But we have now platoon with the ARL-44. Okay, the Hellcat comes into sight. Again, not using sniper view. And we're about to cap out. And that's it, we've won the game and we killed the last enemy.
A player has joined the platoon.
Here's the end of battle stats, and we can see, yes, he says he's rusty in TDs. This was his 3rd game in the Honey 3, just like Angelina had her first game up. Well, he also managed to get a 3rd class tank, and this was his first game where he got the 3rd class mastery. He also got a win 8 of 734, which is on the light side, but he didn't do a whole lot of damage, and he didn't earn enough hit points to get more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. So no fire for effect. But we can see here he did get 350, which puts him mid-table on damage, with the high scorers being the Striv 74 with 2,183 hit points. That guy got a Brothers in Arms. And in 2nd place, we can see it's the Striv M4257 on the enemy team, 1,985, followed by the Gorilla on our own team, who actually managed to get a Confederate of 1,692. And yes, he was busy. The Churchill 7 got a cool-headed Brothers in Arms and a steel wall out of that game as well. When it came to kills, we can see the high scorer was the Striv 74, followed by the Churchill 7. Both managed 3 kills, and so did the Juno on the enemy team, and the Cromwell on our own team as well. And we can see as well, Talon only got 1 kill out of that game, and of course that was the KB1S. And when it came to details, we can see he fired 6 shots, got 4 direct hits on the enemy, 3 penetrations, and 350 hit points of damage. 209 hit points of that was at more than 300 meters. Most of the shots actually fired at the KB1S. 2 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and he earned, well, actually suffered a loss of 4,481 credits from the game on a premium count, but he did get 918 experience points out of the game as well. So the 3rd game is with Angelina. So let's go to that one. The 3rd battle is on the south spawn of Oyster Bay. Tier 6 game with Tier 5 tanks in it. Only 1 RT on our team with Bishop. On the enemy team, it's a Fiki La Pew Pew. That does give the enemy some advantage, but Angelina should be able to cope with that. Now, as we've seen in other battles, if you've been Arty, the tanks coming up to this position actually can be in some danger, because there's a possibility the enemy Arty will be able to launch a few rounds directly in this direction and catch some of them out. Angelina's actually getting fairly close to the bushes, but I think she's far enough away that she might be able to use Bush Mechanic. Again, not using the sniper view. And she got a bit closer to the bush there, but she might be within the range to be spotted. Of course, these other guys are looking or using other people's spotting to actually ensure that they can see the enemy. Whoa! Clean view down this corridor at the north end of the map. The only problem is, again, you can be spotted from some distance away, and Angelina's not using sniper view at all, but she is getting damage, surprisingly. Of course, sniper view does allow you to see some things up close, gets more information. Oh, she got another hit. That BK is very badly damaged. Going after the Jackson now, and he's gone down, but he was killed by the Wizzy 131 GFT. I get the feeling that guy might actually be quite happy to have Angelina almost as a distraction to stop himself from getting the receiving end of any fire. This tank doesn't have a whole lot of gun depression. It's only 5 degrees, I'm afraid. So it's not really a ridgeline warrior. Angelina hunting around for a outline. Well, she doesn't appear to be getting spotted either, which is amazing. Because the enemy's got 2 VK-2801-105s. So it looks like they're not paying attention, because Angelina was exposed there for a brief moment, but they weren't looking in her direction. Straight on to the other VK. That was a nice hit, that one. Of course, light tanks do have lighter armor, which means that, yes, you can use the HE rounds. And now Angelina's used up all of her HE, but she did get some good results out of it. Even if just one shell hits the target, that could be valuable. Well, we now know where their Fifi is. He just revealed his position. Well, the news is that they've still got both their VK-2801-105s. We know where the VP is. He's near the VP near the VK towards the cap. But if Angelina was to actually cut straight across the airfield now to go towards the VP, I think she might get damaged. And they both joined together, so now she can move up. Take advantage of the opportunity. There's only 3 enemy left. If both VKs are in the same position, Angelina can take advantage of that and move up on the south, getting bit further south, and of course they won't see her as she's moving up and getting close to the Arty. It's good tactical thinking, this. You stay within the low ground, the enemy can't see you, and then you can creep up on an enemy where you know they are. There we are. Very close. And she gets a nice hit. High roll for 132. Now he's a one shot and he gets wiped out by the T1 Heavy, and that just leaves the two VKs. One of them's a one shot, the one we can see. Oh, that was the SU-100 going down. Remember, that is the 105mm main gun. I can understand why she's hugging the bush, but that actually will take away the bush mechanic. So if she does fire right now, the enemy VK is going to see her. In fact, actually, he's gone way over, and we might be able to get a spot on him. Might be able to get a shot in there. No, he's gone low now. I get the feeling that Angelina's decided it's probably safer to get the high ground here and shoot down on the VKs as they get spotted. Unfortunately, that bush has got a dead tank in it. I don't know how he did it, but he actually managed to get behind us. Angelina's trying to line up a shot, and she gets him! And that's her first kill of the game, but it is an important one, because now it reduces the enemy force, and we can go to the cap. We don't have to stay, we've got a teammate in the cap already, and we're putting cap pressure on for the guy to come back, and then we can nail him. And if he doesn't come back, we still win. Just don't get the bonus. I'm really curious as to why that VK 2801105 managed to get around behind us, because we were in a position, almost a direct line, where he was actually seen. So he must have doubled back, gone around the outside of the map and come up the other side. And that's it, we've capped out. Here's the end of battle stats, and I think she likes this TD now. She managed to get another third-class tanker and a fire for effect out of that battle, and the win rate has improved. It's 1,785 now. So let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in this game actually went to one of those VKs. In fact, the one that survived, he got 2,401 hit points of damage, picked up the high caliber and the top gun. Second highest damage in the game went to our ARL 44 with 1,593, and the third was the Churchill 7 with 1,522. Angelina got 766, but she was alive at the end of the game, and that's the more important thing. Plus, of course, she didn't suffer any damage at all during that game whatsoever. When it came to kills, she only got the one, but the top scorer was, in fact, the VK, got 6 kills. 4 kills went to the T1 Heavy on our team. On the enemy team, their T150 got 3 kills. and Angelina just got the one. But when it came to base XP, we can see that the top scorer was in fact the enemy VK. Yes, he got 809 base, even though he was on the losing team. 800 went to the Churchill 7, 771 to the ARL 44, Angelina getting 402, which is better than all but the top 3 on the enemy team. Angelina only fired 19 rounds in this game, got 7 direct hits and 6 penetrations. I think the difficulty was she was not using sniper view, and that she would improve her hit rate tremendously if she can see the targets accurately and put the shells right onto the target, rather than hunting around for that outline all the time. 766 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. 5 of the enemies were damaged, 1 were killed, and 132 hit points of spotting assist in the game. On a free-to-play account, she actually made a loss of 33,469 credits, and she got 804 base XP, well, not base, because that's the base XP, 804 XP, but she did get 1,000 free XP from a mission completion reward, so it took away 1,040 altogether. So yes, I think actually Angelina and Talon are now going through the tanks one by one. And it may be that they've only got the one PC that they can actually play the game on at any one time. So it might not be possible for them to platoon together, but you never know. She might actually get some means of actually playing at the same time, so long as they've got the broadband to actually do it, and actually it doesn't slow down the tank's movement just by having 2 PCs active on the modem at the same time. Hope you enjoyed all of those 3 games. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.